in life and business? Well, this show is for you. I'm your Joy Igniter, and let's get this show started. Hey, it's been a while. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am joined today. Oh, jumping into myself. I once again am your Joy Igniter here for season 4, joined with you, my co-host on the couch. Please don't forget to chime in. This show is you're part of the show as much as Colleen and I are. So chime in with your questions and your comments. And my sister from another mister, Miss Colleen Strube herself, follow-up fortune finder. Welcome, sis.
Hey, hey, hey.
Let's get this party started and hard to have this conversation. So, Colleen, why are you passionate about helping people with follow-up using your zone of genius?
Well, let's see. Starting back, no, we won't go back that far. No, I'm really passionate with follow-up because it was something I was struggling with, right? So I've been networking 20 plus years now, and even before that, I realized that I've always been a connector. And so that was like my zone of genius, being able to connect other people and the resources they needed. And I found that I could do that really well. But what I was doing is I was promising people, oh, well, I'll connect you to this person. And then there was times I got busy. I went to another networking event, things like that. And I didn't follow through on what I said. So in doing that, that really made me feel bad, right? Because I said to somebody, hey, I want to connect you to someone, and I knew this would be a great person for them. So by not following up, that was like, oh no, I'm not like telling people, working on it. So I really needed to find a way to follow up. And if you were like me in the past, the whole word of follow up was like, like I just struggled with it because it had this negative connotation around it. And what I found is when I started working with people and different business coaches, Monica being one of them, we found that we really needed to fall in love with it, right? That was the passion behind really helping people connect, is being able to fall in love with follow-up so that it became a fun activity. It became something you want to do. So that's really, I think, where my passion really ignited on the follow-up end, was learning and understanding that it's a mindset. It's a mindset around giving other people, giving to them from your zone of genius. And mine happens to be connecting with people.
Yeah, that's what I love about you and me is we have that in common. I love connecting with people too. And I have no problem following up and calling people after and seeing how they're doing. But what I've learned with working with you and your beautiful program, which I'm sure we'll chime in later about, is just the strategy of following up. Like I'm not a stranger to be on the phone, not a stranger to get in front of somebody, but the strategy alone is where my zone of genius need to be prompted, is getting better at that. So thank you for sharing that. Let's continue on. Oh, we have somebody chiming in from the couch. I love referring people to programs like Colleen's and helping people create tools around following up. Thank you, Miss Henderson. Let's see how we can motivate ourselves. Why, Colleen, is staying reconnecting important for professionals to thrive in your life and business?
Well, if you have heard me speak at all, a lot of times you'll hear me say, it's all about that know, like, trust, and remember factor, right? We all have heard the know, like, trust factor. People do business with people they know, they like, and they trust. But when it comes to actually doing the business, they need to remember you at the time they need your service. So one of the things we want to do with Oh, I totally lost the train of thing. So, but we is actually remember, right? So that's why you want to stay and reconnect with people, right? Because you need to stay top of mind with people. And there's lots of ways to do that. Yo was saying about, jumping on the phone with someone. I like to tell people, like, text people every now and then just to see if they're having a great day, just so that you stay top of mind with them doing, because everyone is so busy, right? If you look at social media, you look at your email box, if it's like mine, you're getting all these emails. But what you want to do is stay top of mind. So you need to keep reaching out. You need to keep reconnecting with those people in not only your business life, but your personal life, right? Because a lot of times we talk in our program about, your sphere of influence, those people in your life that can really help you with your business. So, but it is about building those relationships. And that's what I tell people about follow-up. So many times in the past, when I've talked to people, they've said, they think of follow-up as like, oh, I need to follow up with them to get them to give me, the go ahead to sign them up for a program, or to get them to do something, right? To, get money from them or something. And I have them reframe it so that follow-up is really just reconnecting with someone, building that relationship. It's just that next step to the relationship. And when they're ready to actually make that purchase, you'll be following up with them, and they'll tell you. Now, it means that you still need to ask for the order different times, but you just want to make sure that it's coming from that information standpoint.
Yeah, and what I love too about you and your program is like everybody doesn't have the benefit of being as energetic and unforgettable as I am.
I
They
know.
call my name, one line of name and stuff. So what I love about your program though is it gives people that advantage as well. Like you, because you have it set up and it's structured where we follow up with those different groups in our life, personal
Mhm.
and professional. So I'm able to really be top of mind as I reach out to people, and it's genuinely coming from my heart. You just giving me a structure and system to make it like check the boxes off and make sure that I tap into the different areas and people. So I just love your program. I can't say nothing about it. Follow up.
Well, it's great to have energy people that come and stuff. It's to be able to do that, and everyone has their own different flair, right? So it's great, when you're connecting with people, is you do it authentically, right? So you do it from your standpoint, and you're connecting, and and it's great to see how everyone does it slightly different, and it's all great. So there's not, in my program or in a lot of the things that we talk about, there's not like just one way to do it, right? There's not just one right way to do it. There's different levels of things that you can do. So you can work on creating your own unique follow-up system.
Yes, you do that. You allow us that grace, but you also have that structured system that it's like teaching, which I did for so many decades. Yes, I mean, it's the subject and the curriculum is given to me and the content, but the way I do it, my flair, that's what sets it
Mhm.
apart. So what you do is you give us the foundation, and when we're all in the rooms together, feeding off each other and connecting and seeing how, like you said, I do it differently from you and other people come in, but still no wrong way, because the whole goal is to build a relationship and connect. I
Yeah, and
love
everyone, like you said, feeds off of everyone else's experience. So it's like, you learn from other people doing the program, or what works, what doesn't work, and be able to pull it in with that. And I'm all about that, group learning concept. It's like you learn something, I learn something, and then we share it. So.
Love it. Yes. Oh, come on, life. Let's inspire each other. Staying inspired. Colleen, how has not following up been a problem for you in the past, and how did you overcome it? So when you didn't follow up, how did you overcome, and how was it a problem for you?
Well, I alluded a little bit to that earlier, in the sense of, when I found that I wasn't following up, I mean, you do a couple things. You obviously lose sales, right? You lose those opportunities that are there by not following up. And a lot of people say, yeah, going to a networking event and not following up is like you're just wasting your time, right? Because you've met people there and you really want to connect with them. But if you don't have a system to do that, it becomes easy to not do it, right? And in the past, I was doing lots of follow-up all the time, and maybe you guys are out there are doing that too. And in the past, I would say, yeah, they saw me enough that was the follow-up, right? They saw me a couple times a month and stuff, so I didn't have to kind of formally do a follow-up system. But then with the pandemic and everything changing and slightly, I found that I needed to be more strategic about it, right? And we talk about systems helping you save time, energy, and money. So if by creating these systems, it's really saving you that time, energy, and money, right? So that you don't have to recreate everything. And I still look at different things and like, oh, well, I can tweak this and make it better. But I'm not recreating an email every single time. And that's what I was doing in the past. In the past, I'd like connect with somebody. I'm like, oh, I want to write this very personal email. But what was happening is I wasn't connecting with everyone because I was spending, say, a half hour on one email, right? So once you kind of really sit down and analyze, okay, well, what am I saying? How am I saying it? And going through that process, you can kind of create a generic framework for your follow-ups, and then add the personal stuff into it so that it is still a personal touch, but you've got some of the framework already started.
Ooh, where's this microphone? I need a microphone picture of my thing because she nuggets. Just your zone of genius is so obvious. For me, I feel so bad because I have met thousands of people, but not going back to talk to them further. And to Monica's point, thanks for sharing off the couch, co-host. To her point also is what I was thinking, that if with my results of not following up cause overwhelm. So because I did not follow up people, now that I'm trying, the gold stars checklist persons out there like myself, you're set up now to like, oh, I got 50 people I've met and I've only talked to 3 of them. And I got 47 more people, got to check out the list. And that takes away from that personal connection because now it's a task and not an actual effort to connect to somebody. To your point about making sure we're building those relationships and making sure that people are, knowing that you're there to be of service, but you're not there just to get a service, or gain a service from them.
Yeah. And I think virtual networking has really put a big spotlight on that issue. Because, you go to a virtual meeting and there's 50 people there, right? And then everyone's putting all their information in the chat and you copy all that. So immediately, if like what I had done in the past, it was, oh, I got to follow up with all 50 people. I have to send that email out within 20 to 40, 24 hours, 48 hours. And, if I didn't do that, I was bad at doing my follow-up. And, you got this whole connotation. And then what happens is people, I know for myself, like I would fall into that. And then I would say I suck at it. And then you just kind of reinforce it like, well, if I suck at it, I'm not going to do it. And so it's this ending cycle, right, of doing it. And then when you look at it and you reframe it, which is what we did when we were looking at the systems, is look at when you go to these virtual things. Yes, there's 50 people. That's great. You've got maybe 50 new contacts or leads, right? But really look at who did you meet in the breakout room, right? Those 5 people, you've had an additional conversation with them, right? Make them the top of the list first, right? And then when time permits, go back and add one more person and then go and add. And if it's a group you're going to all the time, you're going to see them at the next week or next month, and maybe they'll be in your breakout room and you'll get to learn more about them then. And you'll slowly build that relationship. I think so many times people are like, oh my God, I got to get in front of everybody every time, all the time. And stuff. And it's really more about taking your time. I think one of the things I've heard, like, you got to slow down to speed up.
Yeah.
So it's like, slow down, create those 5 connections, and have a goal. When you go to a networking meeting, my goal is to meet 3 to 5 great people so I can have a follow-up conversation with them. So.
Yeah. It's like biting what's that thing about biting the elephant? Like you one bite at a time.
One bite at a time. Yeah.
time because it's a huge task, but so is the idea of building a relationship. It's baby steps. It's how you get there, and your program gives us all the support and all the steps we need to do it. I love it. I love it. I think Monica also chimed in there about you. Yeah, your program helped me be more strategic about who I was spending my time following up with,
Right.
because it can be overwhelming if people allow it to, because you can follow. Yeah, like you said, you met 50 people in the networking event, but let's focus on those 3 to 5
Yeah.
in the program. That's where it
Right.
became.
Who's gonna build, those like which person do you feel is going to move your business forward the quickest, or you have more synergy with, right? And you may not know. I mean, there might be somebody in the room that you don't think you have synergy with, but then when you meet with them, you're like, oh my God, like, they are the next, because they know somebody, because a lot of times it's not them who knows, but it's who they know, right? They could be the next great person for you. But you'll get that through that process of connecting with people, and you just have to stay in the process, right? You have to just find ways, through a system, is that people don't drop off through or through the crack, right? And Monica was saying, I think earlier, like the thousands of people, I don't even want to know all the. I mean, I've been going through, I've got, I don't even know, tens of thousands probably of business cards of people that I've met. And I'm like going back, going, oh yeah, now I met this person. And it's okay. It's like, I tell you, some people are like, you will say, well, should you, it's been 3 weeks. Should I follow up? Well, I'm like, well, did they follow up with you? Well, no, we haven't connected. Well, then follow up, because, the worst case is that they'll say no, they don't want to talk to you. That's very worst case, right? But then that you don't need to spend time with that person anymore because they're off the list. The next thing is, like, they might not remember who you are, so you just have to remind them, oh, we met at this great networking event, and they're like, oh yeah, that was a great event, and then you start the conversation. So yeah, I feel like it's never been too long to reconnect, right?
Yeah, I agree. And plus, like, there's the 8 touch points. It takes some of the 8 touch points before they
At
might remember.
least, yeah.
At least, so yeah, so you definitely need to get, and the time spent in between the touch points is not as relevant as the touch points. And I think we
Mm-hmm.
get wrapped up in our minds as, oh, but like you said, it's been 3 weeks, it's been a month and a half, or oh, that was like last year. Okay, well, that's okay.
And COVID time is like totally different. It's like,
Yeah.
so yeah, for me goes by so quick. I'm like, I can't believe the month is gone already. It's like, and it's
I have
like,
2-1 right now. 2-1, 2-3. Please, already February. Let's go onto our end, networking. Colleen, who should you ask for help when you're trying to build your network? Who's out there in the tribe?
So I look for other people who are excelling in networking, right? So look for those other people who are running networking groups or have connection to networking groups. So if you're looking to expand your networking, you should go look at those people who are doing it, right? So I know with Mink Life, we have now access to Go Connections, which is an amazing group of like lots of different networking groups, right? So you can go and find and test out all these groups, right? I've been networking for 20 plus years. So certainly, tell people, this is the one time I tell people, do what I say, not what I do, because I go to so many different networking groups for the like research, right? So I'm doing it to meet people, but I'm also doing it because that's part of my business. So I can go to a networking group and figure out, okay, well, these are the types of people who attend this group, these would be who, maybe it's an all women's group or a men's group or certain industries or stuff. So then when my clients come to me, I can say, well, this group would probably not be a good fit for you because your ideal client's not there, your strategic partners aren't there. But this group over here would be a great group because, your ideal clients are there. There's some great strategic partners I want to introduce you to. So really looking and doing some research on the groups that you're looking at.
Yeah, you are a vast knowledge of people and resources. I would go to you. And I'm sure people out in the audience, if you don't know who to go to, Colleen Strube, the queen of follow up, that's who I would go to. because you know so much and you're so willing to share it too. Your true genius zone is shown when you're in those rooms with the presentation, follow up and follow up. So that's who I go to. That's my end, is Colleen. Gaining some knowledge. What's our knowledge? What is one tip for boosting your influence through follow up?
We probably just go back to being that staying top of mind is really the key for follow up and building the relationship, right? So you want to make sure that you're building a relationship with the fact of how do I want to say this? So I usually say like 80% of the time, right, when you're talking, you're communicating with someone, you want to be doing it based on building a relationship, finding out how can you celebrate that person? What are they doing? How can you support them? Can you, give them a shout out on social media? Can you send them a birthday card? Any of these kinds of building the relationship activities, you should be doing 80% of the time. Then 20% of the time is when you're following up with someone in the sense of, hey, I've got the program coming up. I would love to have you as a beta tester. Could you give me a testimonial? More of your business side is 20%. So if you're looking to really take that follow up and your influence to that next level, is make it the follow up more about them than you. Right. So that make sure that you are following up with them to really learn more about them and support them in their areas that they're working on.
So good. Good mic drop. Good. That was exactly what I was thinking. In addition to that, just saying.
Now you have to come up with another one.
Tagline always be yourself. When you're building relationships, people should know your heart and be genuine and wanting to get to know them. People just don't attack the sale or attack the idea that they could be a potential client. Genuinely care about what's going on in their life, and like it's like the old adage people say: people don't know how much you care until they know you care, or they do what you want. They know how much you care, something like that.
Yeah.
Just be genuine, be yourself. Make sure when you reach out to people that you really want to know who they are. To your point, to really reach out because you're curious, not because you're trying to gain something. Other than the knowledge we just dropped. I dropped that knowledge, the MINK. I think it's time for my tip is fall in love with follow up. It makes all the difference. I think it's time for our announcements. Go ahead, Colleen. What's your announcement?
Well, February, we're actually in February. And even if you listen to this at another time, anytime is the best time to fall in love with follow-up. But February is a fabulous time to fall in love with follow-up. Not only are we like celebrating, Valentine's Day and love is in the air already. It's a great time to really take a look at your follow-up and what you're doing. We offer a 2-week free trial to come try the follow-up experience. What that is and Yo, as alluded to, is every day we actually get together to do our follow-up together. It's a fun system way to do your follow-up. You're doing it with fun people, right? So you get the experience of everyone in the group. And you can really just set a time to do it. I tell people that's the hardest thing to do is setting the time to actually do your follow-up. And this way, we already created an appointment for you. So all you have to do is come and do it. And even if you just make one connection during that time, that's one more than you probably would have done the rest of the day. So, and it's something else that you can not have to worry about doing it. Because in the past, I know that was one of the things that I had done is I kept worrying like, oh, I got to follow up. I got to do this. And then it ends up being 5 o'clock and you haven't done it, right? So if that was you, what this allows you to do is just to set a time to come do it and work on that. Also in February, we will do another accelerator where it will be 2 sessions where you can really spend some time, get those systems in place, and really knock it out of the park for your follow-up in February.
Yay! Oh, and for me, yes, I agree and concur and co-sign what she just said, to come to Feel Food and enjoy that experience, because it is phenomenal, and I can't say enough words about it. But for me, let's connect. Let's continue this train of networking and connecting. Just hit me up on my website, loveyourlife.me. Let's have a conversation and see how we can add value to the world.
Yeah, you have to have yo in your life. That's all I have to say.
Yay!
Okay, now for our community announcements, we have this show comes around every single week on Wednesdays at 9 a.m. and Thursdays at 2 p.m. So you want to join in on the conversation by either being a co-host on the couch, or if you would like to join us on screen, we would love to have you on the show. You can apply to be on the show at www.minklifemotivation.com/live, where you can put in your application and join us on the couch. Also, if you want to continue the party while you're on commute or not looking at a screen, you can listen to the show on the go. It is where all of the podcasts are located. So from your Spotify's to your iHeartRadios to your Apple Podcasts, you can listen to us while you are in the car or walking or scootering or biking or wherever you're going. Enjoy this fabulous conversations that we have here. And if you are going to be with us tomorrow, we have Denise Bailil, who will be helping you calibrate your life with a fantastic topic as well tomorrow. Can't wait for you to be a part of that experience. But if you are a dynamic speaker, this next message is for you.
Calling all dynamic speakers. So many people are struggling. Together we have the power to create a global impact. We are looking for dynamic speakers to partner with us in our mission to help millions live healthy, wealthy, and fulfilled. We need speakers in 4 areas of expertise: personal development, business development, brand development, network development. Apply today at nextglobalvirtualconference.com.
That was awesome and amazing. We hope to see you out in the community and at the conference. And remember, if you were wondering how does following to your success in life and business, watch this replay, put down the chat, and see you in the rooms of Feel Food. Bye.